Well, it's been a double tragedy for Japan as the death toll in a 7.5 magnitude earthquake rises to at least 48 persons. We're also following another development where 379 passengers and crew on board the Japan airline plane, we understand, which was engulfed in flames after landing on a runway in Tokyo, have now been evacuated. I'm joined by environment activist Leslie Adogame for more on this development. Thanks for joining us on The World Now. Japan is said to be one of the most seismically active nations on Earth, owing to its location on the so-called Pacific Ring of Fire, where many tectonic plates meet. Talk to us about what you think is happening there vis-a-vis the number of earthquakes we've seen in the outgone year.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to commiserate again with the people of Japan. This is quite unfortunate. We've seen too many earthquakes in Japan, and just like you mentioned, Japan is quite predisposed to earthquake, especially belonging to the seismic zone of earthquakes. It's quite appalling to be starting a new year of this nature with just this kind of magnitude of earthquake, and the impact is quite tremendous. Impact of earthquakes of this nature can go from physical impacts to social impacts and to economic impact, and that is why at this time we just have to also again commiserate with the Japanese people. It's quite unfortunate that even when this happens, it becomes very difficult to manage the impact from these different sources of physical, economic, and social and environmental impact. But of course, more devastating is when it happens. Buildings are affected, or most importantly, humans are affected. Then before you talk of the economic loss and it's quite a lot of irreversible impact. So it's something that is quite unfortunate, and Japan has seen quite a lot, and we are just lucky as a country that we are not quite disposed to this geological distortion, which Japan is frequently exposed to. So
I agree with you that we're lucky, but quite a number of countries weren't last year. More than 64,000 people died from earthquakes in 2023, the highest death toll we've recorded for earthquakes since 2010. You recall the earthquake in Morocco, over 59,000 people were killed in Turkey and Syria. There were quite a number of other notable incidences that were recorded in the outgone year. Is there something you think is happening in the environment triggering these occurrences?
Well, you first of all, this is purely natural. If we have to understand it and put it clearly in context. It's natural, and again, if you look at the main cause of, apart from belonging to the seismic region or zone, earthquakes are usually one major cause is volcanic, kind of eruption, volcanic implication, and when there's a volcano, there's quite a lot of space left in the geological, earth crust, which eventually predisposes that environment to quite a lot of, to what we can call earthquake. Another thing could be, when you look at it from some environmental point of view, is when you distort the environment. That could also predispose countries, like you just mentioned, that are not necessarily in the seismic zone, but experiencing it. Some of them, it has been found that it's either soil movement, water displacement, moving water from their natural place to another place has a way of distorting the real nature God has created. Also, when a large volume of soil is excavated or is moved from one location to the other, apart from the volcanic. So the environmental factors can also either predisposes or, to a large extent, aggravates any likelihood of any natural, what I'll call natural disasters of this nature. Yeah.
The latest occurrence is a reminder of the 9.0 magnitude earthquake that hit Japan in 2011, resulting in a tsunami that tore through the country's northeastern coastal communities. That incident killed about 18,000 people and displaced tens of thousands. But they say this constant threat of earthquakes has led Japan to develop one of the world's most sophisticated tsunami warning systems. We experienced an earthquake in northern Africa last year. Do you think there are lessons here on the continent in the area of preparation, just in case?
Yes, very, very well. Because right now the occurrences of earthquakes is no longer so restricted to certain region. And I just talked about how environmental factors can potentiate such earthquake, like we talked about North Africa. Japan has really advanced. I had opportunity of traveling there at the point, and you even see that in terms of adaptation, they now have, apart from the early warning system, some of those areas, again, in case of Japan, is really below the sea buildings. Some of their buildings in such a way that it can withstand the excesses of, in case there's going to be any occurrence. Then you talked about early warning system. This is what is lacking in Africa. It can happen anywhere, anytime. Hurricanes, earthquakes and all that. Because it's all about environmental changes that are happening. We talked about climate change. We talked all these things can potentiate and can actually drive a country or a region that is not predisposed to earthquake to begin to experience earthquake. There was a solution. It means that Africa can begin to take lessons from what happened from Japan, that has really have a very high level of early warning system. I don't know of any early warning system for earthquake in any part of Africa. But it's not too late. This is the time for us to begin to do that, lessons learned and sharing experiences. It's just going to be the best way to go, especially African countries or North African countries that have recently experienced it. We can't wait for it to happen. Indeed. The impact is devastating, and early warning can help to reduce the tripod impacts.
Environment activist Leslie Adogame, thank you so much for talking to us on The World Now.